Okay, so let's talk about America's longest war. Back in 2021, the US pulled out of Afghanistan. That was supposed to be it, right? The final chapter? Well, what if it wasn't? There's this pretty wild new claim floating around that suggests the story is far from over. And today, we're going to dig into exactly what that means. I mean, you remember it. It was a dramatic exit. It was chaotic. It was definitely historic. 20 years of US military presence just gone. The Taliban took over again, and a whole era of American foreign policy just ended. Just like that. But here's the twist. What if that end wasn't the end? Because, it's only been a few years, and suddenly that exact question is back. And it's all because of this one really surprising claim about what America might be planning to do next. So where is this coming from? Well, this particular suggestion comes from Donald Trump. He's the one who started talking about a U.S. return, and he's focused on one place in particular, a place that is incredibly strategic, the Bagram Airbase. Okay, so the claim is basically this, that there are actual talks happening right now for American troops to go back and reoccupy Bagram. And we're not talking about just any base. This was their largest and most important one in the whole country. And let's be super clear here. This wouldn't be some small tweak in policy, no. This would be a full-on 180-degree reversal of the withdrawal from 2021. So you gotta ask, why Bagram? Why all the focus on this one spot? Well, to really get why this claim is such a big deal, you have to understand that Bagram isn't just any old airbase. For decades, it was seen as this incredible strategic prize. So look where it is on a map. It's just about 40 kilometers north of Kabul, the capital. Just its location, its geography, it makes it this geopolitical nerve center. We're talking about one of the most valuable pieces of military real estate in, all of Asia. And here's why it's so valuable. It's all about reach. From that one single spot, the U.S. could keep an eye on everything. You could look west towards Iran, you could look north into those Central Asian states, and this is the big one, you could look east towards China's really sensitive Xinjiang region. It's an incredible vantage point. So yeah, when the U.S. left Bagram in 2021, it wasn't just them, leaving an airfield behind. It was a conscious choice to give up one of the most valuable strategic posts on the planet for keeping tabs on a really, really volatile part of the world. Okay, so when you think about that, what a huge strategic loss that was. It suddenly makes sense why some people in Washington might be thinking, hey, maybe we should get that back. And the reasons for wanting to return? They're all tied up in the big global power struggles we're seeing play out right now. Really, the argument for going back comes down to three key things. Number one, countering China. You'd have a base right there on their western frontier. Number two, monitoring Iran. You'd have so much more operational and intelligence capability. And number three, of course, is counterterrorism. Keeping a lid on groups like ISIS-K and others. But, and this is a huge but, wanting it back and getting it back are two totally different things. The path to actually reoccupying that base is, it's filled with some massive obstacles. First up, and this is probably the biggest roadblock of all, is the Taliban government itself. They have been crystal clear on this. They've said, no foreign troops will return, period. Full stop. And, okay, let's say you try to ignore them. Any attempt to take the base by force, you're risking another war. Then you have the situation back home in the U.S. After 20 years of fighting, there is not a lot of appetite for going back. And you can absolutely bet that other big players in the region, like Russia and China, would fight tooth and nail to stop the U.S. from setting up shop in their backyard again. All right, let's zoom out for a second, because this whole Bagram thing, it's not really just about Afghanistan, is it? It's much bigger than that. It's a piece on the global chessboard. It's a symbol of America's place in this new, changing world order. Think about it like this. When the U.S. left in 2021, a lot of people saw it as a hit to American power. It created this vacuum, and you better believe China and Russia were ready to jump right in. So the idea of going back, that would be a huge signal, right? It would be Washington saying, nope, we're not done here, we're pushing back. It would be a way to plant the American flag right back in the middle of Eurasia. It is a really high-stakes move in that great power competition. And all of this, it brings us back to that old saying, that piece of history that just hangs over that entire region. Afghanistan has been called the graveyard of empires for a reason. Ask the British, ask the Soviets. It has always been an incredibly difficult place for foreign powers to control. So that leaves us with the big question, doesn't it? Is all this talk just, political noise? Or could the US really get pulled back into the graveyard of empires? Right now, nobody knows for sure. But I really want to know what you think. Do you think a US return to Afghanistan is even possible, or is it a total fantasy? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And hey, if you like these explainers, where we try to break down these really complicated topics, do us a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. It helps a lot.